was young, it didn't stop you coming through. They took the credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine and new technology. And now I understand the problems you can see. I met your children. What did you tell them? Radio killed the radio star. Oh, radio killed the radio star. Oh, pictures came and broke your heart.
Coming at you live and direct. Wait, sorry, it's Monday night. It's Monday night. It's 8 o'clock. You know what time it is. It's time for TV Talk right here on Nerd Nation. My name is Off the Cuff Tom. Welcome yet again. It is always a pleasure having you. I hope you had a fantastic weekend and you mulled over like you mulled wine, because you know what? It's time to talk about some wine time and the Desperate Housewives of the MCU, because it's time to talk about episode 3 of Agatha All Along. I hope you guys all are ready. I want to see a bunch of stuff in the chat. I've got some things to talk about. I've got my speculations. I've got my theories. I've got my this, my that. I definitely want to get some stuff going in the chat today. So please make sure, like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the things, because you saw Agatha's out there to get you. Oh, having that said, what did everybody think about this week's episode? Last week's episode? I think it was a great show. I think it finally gave us an idea of what we can finally expect. I think 1 and 2 set up everything. I think that, now where we're at, it is finally going to get somewhere. We can understand how the trials are going to work. What's great is that, we came out of the first episode, which was very much along the lines of the detective drama, very tropey, Mayor of Eastwood. And then this time, because it's on the thumbnail, we went full on Desperate Housewives. I mean, look, even I put in the little "the" when I made the thumbnail. It's a great thing. I think this is fun. I can't wait to see the other tropes that they go through. And once again, the show starts off with the title, all right? Through many miles of tricks and trials. I like the fact that they are taking every single lyric from the song and using it for song titles. I think it's a very smart way to have everything all incorporated. And speaking of being incorporated, like I said, jump in the chat. We want to talk to you. We want to know what you think about this. What was your favorite part of the episode? Don't get too far ahead of me. We will have spoilers, but what's your theories on what might be coming up? I can't spell sometimes. Because, internet. All right. What's your theories? So we finally start off and they're like, well, what is going on? What are we doing? Where are we going? Because remember, we just came down through these beautiful blue tealish roots and we're on the road as is, just right here. And we've got these great blue leaves. And apparently Mrs. Hart decides, you know what? I need to stray off the path just a little bit. I'm going to have a little sit down. And one of the many, many, many lines of the song says, do not stray from the path. Well, she did. She sits down off the side. Instead of, like Wizard of Oz style, poppies, poppies, the ground starts to eat her. And God forbid, her purse from Talbot's too. Because we all know she got that on sale. She won't admit it, but she did. She's the type of girl that's going to go around and go, got this at Talbot's. It's on sale, but I got it at Talbot's. It's like buying a dress and saying, it's got pockets. You know exactly what I'm talking out there, ladies. So they're wondering, the whole team, the whole coven are trying to figure out where the F are we going? And because magic, they turn around and then there's this big old house right behind them. This big old looking beach house thing. I wanted to make kind of, Wizard of Ozian looking, put the little sepia tone on there. But, I mean, isn't the show a little Wizard of Oz? I'm just saying. Just a bit. So they decide to finally go up and they get to the door and the teen Oh, wait, scratch that, reverse it. Uh, the team asks, well, who is this kid? Because he's starting to know things and figures things out. When he goes to say his name, we finally get proof that the M is a sigil, one. Two, completely breaks the theory that only um, Agatha can't hear his name because everybody can see it. So then they start speculating. Oh, someone doesn't want us to know who you are. You must be some kind of witch folk. Okay. Everybody out there in theory land and folks who might know what the Funkos ruined for us last week, good for you. For those of you who didn't, stay right where you are. Because for me, that M stands for Mephisto. That's just my theory. I mean, I have a great theory. The theory is that the kid is just the walking embodiment of the Darkhold. Hopefully he is. But knowing what some plastic purveyor from Portland did. Yeah. So, anyway, they go, well, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? We turn around, and then there's the beach house. Very much, again, like I said, I just had some fun with this. Put the little Wizard of Oz look on, and, Auntie M, Auntie M. So they walk up to the door. The kid realizes that the sigil or the symbol on the door is, because there's two very different things, is the moon in a phase, and it's in the water phase. It's like, okay, cool. Um, I love the fact that Miss Hart is still trying to be that prim and proper lady and going, well, let's not be rude or hasty. And they walk in and, she rings the doorbell. Agatha, being Agatha, just walks right in. Shrewd as all shrewd can be. She walks in. They look around. Costume change. Yep. They walk in and they turn into literally the desperate housewives of the MCU. Like, look at that. That is fantastic. Like, yes, lovey, look, we're here. This is fantastic. It's on, we've got a nice beach house going on here. It's fan. Somebody, please bring me the caviar. Like, seriously, how pompous, Thurston, how the third of the modern day do you need to get? I love the fact that Jen actually says, oh my God, I look like, people I sell my product to. Because look at that. Like the sweater dress. When was the last time you saw a sweater dress? Like, honest to God, is this 2019, 2018? Like, I don't even know how out of fashion they are, unless they're coming back around because, I'm old. Patti LuPone looks just fantastic. She's got her little, scarf on and everything. Everybody fits the part. And I love the fact that they still incorporated very meticulous things into their costuming. So you'll see that, Agatha still had her cameo on of the Maiden Mother and Crone, which is extremely important because that is a locket that has a piece of hair that we have theorized about. Again, what are your, wait, wrong camera, hold on. What are your theories? Tell me in the chat, super chat, wherever you want to. Tell me in the comments below. So they're trying to figure out exactly how to get through this. And understanding it's a water phase, the water trial, it's more than likely the potions trial. Because you need to have one of the 5, things. We've talked about that before. So this is obviously where Jen's going to shine. They don't know what they're doing. They find this wonderful, gorgeous bottle of wine. And who can say no to a good Rioja? I know I can. I'd much rather have a Melback, Nebbiolo, Tempranillo. God forbid, off the cuff, Tom actually is a connoisseur of some things aside from pop culture. He does know his wine as well. So they decide to start drinking the wine. They find a card on the mantelpiece that explains, I'm always full. I'm the root of problems. It's the wine. The wine is poisoned, and I gotta give Marvel Television some major kudos and props here because they are using practical effects. They all start, cheers, Slanchava, chin chin, kampai, whatever you want to say. And they drink the wine. See what I say? And they get poisoned. They start swelling up. This was practical effects makeup. Sorry, I usually don't cheat and find pictures off anywhere else on the internet. Try not to. But if you've seen the episode, you know what we're talking about. They're blowing up. It was great. So they had to start figuring out, well, what was the poison? What is this? What happened? And all they could rely on was their knowledge and skills. Well, unfortunately, nobody else is a potion wits except for Jen. So, with Mrs. Hart having the most wine first, she inadvertently became the, as I said, canary in the coal mine. Starts questioning her, does it this, it's this, and then we find out, I believe the Edelweiss, no, that's Edelweiss. That's Sound of Music. Um, you know, what was the name of the poison? I had it here. If anybody knows the name, let me know in the chat. Oh, wrong screen. Look on that screen. Anyway, they figure out that it was a particular poison that causes face swelling, dizziness, heart palpitations, and then uh, hallucinations of past traumas and fears. Well, the good thing is because Teen is underage, Agatha's like, yeah, here, you want to drink? I don't care. She's the cool aunt, right? Everyone's like, no, he's underage. So luckily the kid didn't drink it. So they decide, okay, we're going to split up and go around this gorgeous beach house to try and find and procure the ingredients that they need. It's like, yo, this would make a great one shot in D&D. Just saying. Nerd Initiative might be doing D&D soon too. So they start going around and they have a little list of all the things to get. Best part is that, it was all natural ingredients. So they needed, eye of newt, the gut of a blah, blah, blah insect, which just turned out to be honey. They needed plankton or whatnot, something petroleum based. And nobody knew what to look for in the house. But when Agatha and them decided to go into the bathroom, Agatha and Lilia decided to go to the bathroom, and like, this stuff has petroleum in it. And it happened to have been Jen's products that she is like under this massive amount of. Cell phone Wallet Keys says that he is in on an Agatha campaign. Well, Mickey, I don't know exactly what we're doing yet for October, if we're actually going to throw this out on the internet, but I do think I may have time and literally just make one shot. But we can talk about that later off air. We're talking Agatha right now. Okay. So they decide to go around the house and the idea for the witch's potion. The clever use of materials is actually a call and a playback. It's actually really hard play to Shakespeare. Um, bubble, boil, bubble, bubble, toil and trouble, and how that all goes. Well, the most common ideas of what it was that eye of newt was mustard seed, toe of frog was buttercup leaves, wool of bat was holly or moss, dog of tooth was the actual plant houndstooth. Ader's fork was violet, blind worm's sting was knotweed, lizard's leg is ivy, and howlet's wing garlic, or maybe ginger, but garlic was more common in the UK. Fun fact, my actual real life last name means water garlic in Gaelic. So just saying, all around, that whole area. So to then take honey and say, oh, it's the gut of a blah, 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 blah type of insect. I'm like, okay, that literally is from the gut. I think it was a fun, smart play to incorporate, the practicality of what magic can be. I mean, you've seen some hilarious memes on there, well, you tell me that a soup isn't, a magical elixir. You put a bunch of stuff in a pot and you let it simmer and then you have it and you feel better. That's a potion. Think about it. So to go with the literal play on words, literarily speaking, genius, you got me. Anyhow, before they pick up all their stuff, like I said, there's hallucinations and palpitations and all kinds of stuff. So let's go through the hallucinations. Now, earlier, Teen had noticed a particular tattoo on a protection witch and said, oh, well, where did you get that? Oh, I got it in Colorado. Comic book nod right there. Spoiler, ladies and gentlemen. New Salem, which is kind of a hidden witch town in Colorado in the comic books. So I'm wondering if did they just make a nod right there, and if they did, yeah, good idea. Um, so obviously she has had some issues with her mom. They're looking around. They find a sauna because they're looking for frankincense, not myrrh. Wrong holiday. So there's a sauna. So there's essential oils. They find this frankincense, and this is when the hallucination starts. She sees her mom, and she's like, "Mom, it's you. I love you. This is wonderful." And she's like, "I couldn't save you. I couldn't save anybody. We're all damned." Ah! Okay, like we're seriously going there. We're talking about familial trauma. Not only that, witches trauma. Not only that, matricide. Well, would it be considered matricide, or would it be? No, it would be the S word. I don't know if I can say matricide on the internet, but at the same time, it's YouTube. And would they actually know what the algorithm that word is? You know, I can use anti-disestablishmentarianism in a sentence and actually know what I'm talking about. But does YouTube? Oh, how YouTube? Anyhow, so she goes through her trauma. Um, Lilia being the ancient, and I use ancient as a very loose term because obviously she has been around since the Victorian era, being the what's the word? I just missed I forgot the word. This is why we do it live because sometimes I forget words. Being the clairvoyant that she is, um, she's having flashbacks of the past, and she sees three women. Now, we can take this one of two ways. I want everybody to tell me down in the chat below. Comment here. This is a good one. Did she see the maiden, the mother, and the crone? All right, because she saw three different women at different stages, or was it a princess, a queen, and death coming for both of them? Because in the Renaissance, in that era, you had the plague, you had this, you had that. Did she foresee the plague, and that's what killed her? Now, mind you, I don't know much about these characters. These are all my theories. Did she already foresee the plague, and this is what happened? Or was this a very twisted interpretation of the maiden, mother, and crone? Let me know. We keep going, and then we get to Jen. Now, this is her thing. This is totally her trial. She goes into the little tiny pantry, which is gorgeous because I'm a cook and I love it. Just kill me and I could die in that kitchen. Foreshadowing. She goes into the pantry to find some eye of newt, mustard seed, and she comes out and everything is all darked out. It's a dark and stormy night. There's this weird looking doctor dude, and trigger warning, he assaults her, starts dunking her head in the sink and telling her she's nothing. Like, this was like, good on you, Disney. The mouse ain't around. We're gonna go there. We're gonna trauma dump right on you. So you're nothing. You're a inconvenient woman. Like, how do you become the choice of words of "you are an inconvenient woman"? That is definitely from a different time and a different place, and I gotta appreciate that because you're an inconvenient woman. Hi, if my ex-wife's out there, there's my statement. I'm sticking to it. So she gets out of her thing, and so we got Mrs. Hart. She, being the coal mining canary, she went through her hallucination first. Looking at all these witches, she goes back into her episode of WandaVision where they were in black and white, mocking the Dick Van Dyke Show, and just let him breathe. Stop. I mean, it was kudos to Deborah Jo Rupp for going back into that particular mindset and being able to emote and get that feeling out there, saying, no, stop. And then she passes out. Team didn't have one, because he didn't drink the wine. This was a good thing. Now, because Agatha cheated, she got her hallucination last. She tried dumping the wine out, the glass would refill. She tried, oh, I don't need to. She's trying to work around it. And you would think for somebody who's been on the road already, she should know not to F with it. Like, just do the thing, get it done. Well, when they were trying to get it out, she had happened to have cracked the window. And guess what? The place is now filling with water. Sorry, I ain't going to do that. Now they have to figure out how to get out of here. They can't go out the front door, so they got to figure out the potion. There's a timer going off over here on the clock. Very nice, very electronics boutique. Maybe the sharper image. They got that. It's going off. It's only 30-minute countdown. So I like the fact that we had kind of a real-time episode as well. I don't know if anybody's taken the time yet to see if it was in a real-time scenario. Maybe I'll do that on another rewatch because I've already watched it 3 times just getting ready for this. So as they're trying to make the potion in the kitchen sink, because you can always boil something in a kitchen sink, and I got a big complaint about that. Jen says that there's going to be all these colors that it goes through. Oh, well, it's supposed to be a nice like cerulean, right? And I'm like, I love cerulean, so I'd love to see a cerulean potion. Well, we got teen, we got chartreuse. I get my colors mixed up. Well, it's a nice teal. It's not cerulean because they have forgotten one ingredient. While they're trying to figure out what that last ingredient is, this is when Agatha has her hallucination. And wow, can we say, like, hey, let's take a page out of Wanda's book and literally, well, was it Wanda's book? It was Wanda's book. Well, it was technically, let's take a page out of the Darkhold and do this again. So she goes and she starts hearing baby crying. Everything blacks out. It's just her and the light and this nice little, bassinet. And she goes up and you hear the baby crying. So she's obviously having issues with whatever happened with her son, Nicholas Scratch, which we've talked about before. Again, you can go back to the last episode and watch that. Her son, she pulls down the blanket and Darkhold, a gasp, crying, oh no, no, no. And everybody starts yelling for her. She snaps out of it. What's the missing ingredient? It's hair. Oh, we got to add it at a certain time when it gets to a certain color. So they throw it in. But the problem is they have to boil this cauldron. Now, I'm no Harry P. Strange Merlin wizard guy, but even I know Potions 101. You have to boil a freaking potion, right? Well, how do you boil a potion in a sink? In that type of kitchen, there should be pots and pans around. Do the thing, put it on the stove. Obviously, it's TV. It's easy to shoot, when it's on the kitchen island. So they're great ideas. Let's stick a sous vide stick in the sink. 1, cheers to modern technology. 2, I think that's great. Now everybody's going to go out and learn what sous vide is if you haven't learned it already because you watch all that really crappy cooking shows. 3, a sous vide. Here's my complaint. Sous vides do not get that hot at all. Okay, a sous vide is to do something like a poach or, getting up to a certain doneness when it comes to meats. Make sure it gets to 100, at least 165 at max. So you could say do a really nice sous vide chicken. Or you do the reverse sear if you're having a steak. Tons of things you can do with sous vide. Boiling is not one of them. Not in the least. So all this great backstory, all this comic book that they're pulling from, all this magical stuff, talking about the Great Bard, using the reference there. Can't stick a stick, a thermo heater stick in the goddamn sink and expect it to boil. No. If there is anybody out there that happens to know a sous vide that does go to 212 degrees, I'll be more than happy to take and review the product as well. But in the meantime, it doesn't get that hot. They figure out the potion. They all start taking the potion with seconds left. Everybody takes the potion except Miss Hart. Because they forgot, oh my God, she's over there on the table and she's got to swallow it down. Last few seconds, she swallows it. They finally find their way out. the stove opens up. First thing I do, I blurt out laughing. Witch is going in a stove. That is hilarious, especially considering the literary character that we all associate with that also is just a funny, funny nod to something in my own personal life because people get names mixed up. If you know me, you know me. So they go on, it's like, oh, I ain't doing that. My friend did that one once, and she had a lovely house. I mean, we're playing Hansel and Gretel right there. So that just made me crack up. And everybody realized, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. The windows cracking open, the water's pouring in. They're all going, oh no, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. You couldn't see, but I was just splashing myself with water. It's on my screen. Might be on my camera. Either way, so they all slide through the stove and they come out in this water slide. Now, ladies and gentlemen, everybody gets up. They're all okay. They're back to their normal looking selves in the outfits they had prior to the trial, except one person. Unfortunately, spoiler, Miss Hart had passed. Apparently, she didn't take the poison fast enough or take the antidote fast enough, and she is no more. This is now going to throw off the whole number of the coven because now they've lost their Earth Witch. And that is, again, a huge freaking stretch. So where do they go from there? I don't know. Sharon's dead. I love the fact that Agatha still didn't know what her name was by the end of the episode. Who? And then cut credits. It's funny the fact that, Sharon had said, bury me in this kitchen. Where the hell do you think she died? Like, foreshadowing like nobody's time, like nobody's business. It's fun how they did this episode. I think it was fast paced enough. I think that the trials are going to be interesting at this point because this one was dealing with your own past, your own stuff. Like, what do you think the next trials are going to be? It's really interesting. And speaking of self, Jen was so shaken up about, going back and reliving the fact that, she was assaulted and she was almost drowned to death, which, I mean, obviously as a witch, that's like, one of your biggest fears, fire and water, to be, either burned at the stake or drowned as a witch. But to have just this one nasty guy drowning her. And then Agatha has to give her, get her out of the yips and say, look, they can take your power, they can do this, but what they can't do is take the knowledge inside of you. That's how she figures out the last ingredients for the potion, which is great. Motivation, teamwork, that's awesome. Girl power, witchy girl power, all kind of powers. So she figured out the thing. Anyway, they slide through. Sharon's dead, and that's it. Scene over. Like I said, this was a good first trial. Where they're going to go from here, how they're going to do this, like I have some feelings now. If the potions witch is water based, again, I'm going back to the idea that our clairvoyant is the wind or air based trial. So that's going to be interesting. Our protection witch is going to be a fire based trial. And this is where it gets weird. Now, I'm going to go back to my pictures here. So if you take a look in the picture, this is where it happened is when they came down during the original second episode. This was the trees and the roots, right? The path itself on the witch's road also had blue leaves. When the house started filling up with water, the outside was blue. Okay? My own lighting tonight is also blue adjacent. So we're there. One picture I did find on Disney was this one. And if you notice, the leaves are now red. Also, the roots, which I could not get a decent picture of. So I'm just going to put this up and everybody's going to put your little imagination hats on. The roots that they came down through on their water slide was also red. So my theory is that next week's episode is going to be the protection. It's going to be the fire witch's spell. So I'm in. I'm down for that. How are we going to do this? Now, if she's got mommy issues and her mom was music related, could this be a musical episode? Could this be some sort of physicality? Because we have seen some stuff as far as like jazzercising back in the 80s. Like, let's go. Yeah. And let's get our tights and our sweatbands and everything on and do the jazzercise. I don't know. I think that's might be where we're going. I think that once we get after this trial and say the next trial is going to probably be, again, our divinity, not clairvoyant. That's the word I was looking for. Which everything's going to have a yellowish hue to it. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. What do you think about that? Again, I'll still go with the theory that I'm going to put out here that the teen, is the walking manifestation of the Darkhold trying to reconfigure himself, getting back to the end of the Witch's Road. Sadly, we all know that plastic company spoiled it, is what it is. Having everything said, the first episode of the trials, it's now that we've done okay, we have to reestablish the show. Hey, we got to get the band back together. Okay, we did that. Okay, now it's go time. I think this was a really good episode to get people used to what to kind of expect, but at the same time, we don't know what else we're going to get. But the stakes are there and the stakes are high. Mrs. Hart is dead. Like, she's gone. Sorry, Kitty. Done. Sharon, Deborah Jo Rupp. She's always going to be Kitty. Where do we go from here? How do we go from here? And what can we expect? I don't know. That's why I like this show. What are your theories about this? What do you want to see? All I got to say is, I've complained about Funko already at least twice. Do not go and search what the Agatha All Along pops are. I really, really want you to go along this journey with me. Do not get the spoilers because they screwed up yet again. Lego's done it God knows how many times. I'm really surprised Funko got away with it. But again, it's a spoiler, and it's also wasn't on a legit site. It was like someone took a quick pic with their camera, but it's a pretty relevant spoiler. So what do you think's going to happen? I just don't know. I want to see what's going to happen. I really want to see how these possible traumas might relate to how things are going to play out down the road. Because again, we've talked about the 5 different parts of the pentagram of the coven. We have the 5 base, or 4 basic elements. What is Agatha's going to be? What is the purple? What is her trial going to be? Is this going to be her dealing with everybody else's stuff? Is everybody going to be trauma dumping on her and she's got to deal with it? There's a lot of stuff coming down with the amount of episodes we got. It is going to be fast paced. So please pay attention. Please make sure to hang on. And then, of course, make sure you come back here on Monday nights and talk with me. Always. Because that's what we're here to do. Because we're the home of pop culture positivity. And we want to have that discussion with you. We want to go back and forth. We're not going to knock anybody for anybody's idea. And how do you do that? You do this. You make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure the bosses know that we are doing a great job here at what we're doing because you want to be here and we want you to be here too. And when we do post up some new stuff, like I know today we posted up a fantastic new toy review from our buddy Juan, you're going to make sure that you hit that bell notification and get all those things. And more importantly, you want to smash whatever the kids are saying nowadays, that thumbs up. Why? Because we want to bring you all this great content. And if we're not making the content you want, let us know. We'll see what we can do. This is why it is a safe space here. There's no trauma dumping because this is not the road. This is the road to having a great time here on the internet, and that's what we're here for. And how do we do that? Well, every single Monday we've got, right now here with me, you're doing it right now. You got Nerd Initiative TV Talk. And look, because we're here on, Nerd Initiative, we love our QR codes. Make sure you hit that QR code. Tomorrow night on Tuesday, we've got Turn a Page, the internet's greatest comic book club. Tomorrow night, yours truly is not going to be on there because I'm taking a bye week because our team from our Thursday night show, Wrestling Night Live, will be jumping in from the top rope talking comic books on Turn Page that are about wrestling. And I have no clue about that. Like, seriously, WWE, that ain't for me. But make sure that on Thursday you're checking out our guys over for Wrestling Night Live. They're talking AEW, ACW, WWE, New Japan, and I think I got all the letters. So you definitely want to see what they're doing. On Thursdays, or not Thursdays, going back to Wednesday, we are putting out so many comic book reviews. You have no idea. So you want to make sure that you're always checking out the website for everything that we're doing. Especially this Wednesday, we're going to be putting out so many comic books. It is just absolutely nutsy cuckoo. In the meantime, New York Comic Con's coming up. We're all going to be there. No, not all of us, but a good chunk of the Nerd Initiative team is going to be there. You're going to see us out strutting our stuff with our NI on, but you too can join us and make sure that you go on and get the merchandise. As I always like to say, wear your nerd on your sleeve. You can't go, I got to get this camera shit fixed. You can't go wrong. Click the QR code. Go get your nerd merch. Have a coffee cup. Have a hat. Get a T-shirt. There's always stuff up on our channel, on our store. Make sure that you're getting some. Show the love. Support the channel. And again, the biggest thing that I love, hump day, comic book reviews like nobody's business. The best comic view site on all the internet. I don't care what you say. I said it. That's my thing. Hashtag best comic book view site on the internet. If there's anything else that you want us to do here over Nerd Initiative, make sure follow us on all the socials, comment, like, share it, send it to your Aunt Tilly in Toledo. She might not know what's going on, but just, oh, I like that Catherine Hahn. I'm gonna head. I'll watch this show because that cute kid Tom said so. Because we all love Aunt Tilly from Toledo. In the meantime, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Make sure to stop back throughout everything this week. Make sure also play for keeps. Play for keeps Friday. Very, very big thing coming up. We've got all kinds of stuff. We've got New York Comic Con pre-shows coming up. We want to get you in the know so you know. My name is Off the Cuff Tom. As I always like to say, please be excellent to each other. Having that said, I'm out.